Where are you on prenups? You good with a prenup?
Me giving it or me signing it?
Both. You got assets you want to protect.
I'm not signing a prenup.
You not?
No. Now, will I have one drafted? Maybe. But I'm not signing one.
Why?
Well, why would I?
Well, Dr. Cheyenne Bryant was on Club Shay Shay this week promoting her new book. Well, not new book. It's a re-release of the book she already wrote in 2015 or 2014, something like that, with some added additional workbooks or something of the sort. Yeah. You can thank 50 Cent for that. 50 Cent actually is her hookup. I think 50 Cent and Lala somehow got her hooked up with a book deal. So now I guess she got that advance money and she's out here promoting a book that she's already wrote. You can't make this up.
My book launched today.
Dead.
Literally. Today that we're filming, at least.
Right.
Yes. My book, Mental Detox, launched today. I got a double book deal. Shout out to 50 Cent, Curtis Jackson, for taking the lead on that.
Right.
With Random House, which is the biggest publishing company in the world.
Wow.
And so 50 believed in me, and he took the lead, and they said, well, we believe in her too. We love her. And so here I am with 2 book deals. My first book, Mental Detox, launches today, and then my second book, Marches in 2026, launches. So I'm excited. I'm a happy camper.
Anyway, she got a new book, and suddenly we're supposed to forget about her questionable podcast behavior over the past few years. I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it. The book and her behavior. We've watched this pattern of behavior unfold across multiple high-profile appearances where she targets successful unmarried black men under the guise of therapy. This Club Shay Shay appearance was particularly telling. In addition, with a suspicious amount of comments that were praising and saying how much of a good speaker she is and why she has so many haters on every one of these appearances. After watching this interview, I see why they hate on her. They're all projecting their own insecurities on her. Shine on, Dr. Cheyenne Bryant. I'm glad I watched this. One takeaway: I'm not here to be liked. I'm here for a purpose. I love a woman with a voice and a brain and not afraid to use it. She's beautiful and educated. She is cold. She just flipped the script and slipped Shay Shay into a therapy session. I'm hollering. She did it so smooth. He on here sweating. People can hate all they want. This woman is dropping relational jewels. They hate on her so bad she hasn't done anything to anyone. She's just giving advice on her experiences or on the things that she's done research on. There's always selective outrage. Saying this woman is not a doctor while barely having a GED is nefarious work. They always think whoever's critical of her couldn't have possibly graduated from college. Like they did. They must have a GED. And they go on and on and on and on and on and on. And they're all the same. They're all very similar. No need to beat a dead horse. We've been down this road before with Dr. Cheyenne Bryant. Questionable background. 6 degrees from I don't know where. That can't necessarily be confirmed. But for some reason, they want us to like this woman. They want us to see this woman in the short dress and believe that she is a qualified professional. But a book launch does not rehabilitate unprofessional conduct. And I'm about to break down exactly why this feels like damage control rather than genuine professional growth. So let's examine what we've actually witnessed versus what her credentials suggest we should expect. When you hold yourself out as a mental health professional, there are certain boundaries and ethical standards that come along with that territory, but her podcast appearances always tell a different story.
Listen, I have a soft spot for my black. I love y'all, boy. Y'all come to session.
I don't even really want to be here. I don't even know why I'm here, but I'm here.
Or my wife made the appointment, or y'all sit in session, and I love this part. You're waiting for me to create a safe space. Why do I love that? Because I am not entitled to hear your issues just because I have a title. You should make me work to create a safe space for you so that you know you can trust me. However, you should do that as well in your relationships before you putting your penis in a woman. You should make sure that body and that space, that body and that space is safe. so that your trauma and your issues wouldn't become buried in your codependency on and sex.
Damn.
And you would be able to gain a sense of self and not a sense of your codependency, where all it does is trigger and inflame your traumas and your existing self-hate and issues. And then we would have better men, not for women, but for themselves.
Her pattern is consistent. Instead of engaging in genuine conversation, she attempts to psychoanalyze these rich black males, sometimes former athletes. Shannon Sharpe, you've seen this with Cam Newton. We've seen this on Paul Pierce. Paul Pierce got after her, though. Paul Pierce is the only one that seems to be able to handle Dr. Cheyenne Bryant. I wonder if it's because he's actually from California, Los Angeles, and so is she. The Shannon Sharpe situation, though, it perfectly illustrates this approach in what she does. Rather than respecting the interview format, she seemed determined to bring this man down a peg or two. And we know what Shannon has been through in the past year, right? So it's no question that Shannon probably does need a little therapy. I think the incident with the OF chick kind of leaves him in a place of vulnerability where he's more receptive to how she's actually trying to manipulate him. She brings him down to her level through the therapeutic manipulation disguised as professional insight.
When you go low, I have to be able to be aware of my man and say, whew,
Yeah.
he's in that space.
Because normally, Doc, when they go low, I go to hell. I bypass the basement.
Hold on. Both of us, baby, because let me tell you.
I bypass the basement, Doc.
And then I remind, look how bad I get. I say, yeah, Shy, because God said if you make your bed in hell, he there. I said, well, then God,
come on.
we going.
Yeah.
We going.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we got to work on that.
Yeah.
We got to work on that.
I'm getting better, Doc.
I'm getting much better.
I ain't got to fight anybody like I used to have. I'm getting older now, Doc. I'm getting wiser.
The problem is I still got the fight and the grit and the strategy, so I'm managing all that.
Is there a difference between a therapist and a life coach?
There is.
Okay.
So I started off as a marriage, family, and child therapist,
okay,
right, where I was working for a nonprofit under a license and diagnosing and doing progress notes and billing insurance and dealing with court-ordered families from DCFS, the Department of Child and Family Services. Mm-hmm. And so that was where a therapist diagnosed, we do progress notes, we bill insurance. A life coach is somebody who still provides resources and tools, right? Similar to a therapist, mm-hmm, but we don't diagnose. We do not bill insurance, and we obviously don't need progress notes. Two totally different things. Also, a life coach isn't treating clients. A life coach is seeing clients. As a therapist, I was treating clients, right? Not just seeing them. My modality is a hybrid modality because I started off as a therapist, mm-hmm, and my approach was cognitive behavioral therapy and psychodynamic. And because that's my foundation, I use a lot of those tools still in my life coaching. And to blend it all together, they're both needed. And that's why my hybrid approach is the most effective, because therapy is like, tell me more, let's talk about your childhood wounds. And these are why you do what you do. This is why you think the way you think, right? Your three-part house is how you think, how you feel, and how you behave. This is why your three-part house is disaligned. Then when we get you aligned, coaching says, all right, Shannon, now that we got you somewhat together, where do you want to go with this? Who do you want to be? You see, coaching, if the person doesn't have a therapeutic background like me, doesn't know how to penetrate the trauma, right? And therapists are not coaches. They're just trying to help you process through your stuff. But they're not going.
What's particularly concerning is that I think Cheyenne Bryant has a personal vendetta against black men that she seems to think she should have access to.
80% of my clients are celebrities, are athletes, NFL players, baseball players, and a good 90-ish are black. And black men at the highest rate of any of my clients, especially my A-listers and my athletes, have experienced suicide attempt or ideation and never told anyone. And they're just blessed and happy that they didn't act on it or follow through.
That wasn't always the case.
It was not always the case.
We grew up, I'm old enough and grew up in an environment where you weren't allowed to cry if you were a man because that was a sign of weakness. When did you think this shift happened where black men were comfortable coming to sit down and talk to a Dr. Bryant, or they were willing to go seek counseling? This is what I'm thinking. This is what I'm feeling. Mm-hmm. I'm not okay. Mm-hmm. And I'm big enough. I'm man enough.
I love that.
I'm not prideful enough to
Come
say,
on.
Doc, I need to talk to somebody because I got these thoughts going on inside and I don't know how much longer I can fight them.
You know, an unmarried woman that systematically goes on these shows, she targets the same profile of men, ex-athlete, unmarried. To me, it raises questions about her motivation. You know, is this legitimate professional analysis or is it something personal? Let's go deeper. Shout out to Zoe Williams.
Where are you on prenups? You good with a prenup?
Me giving it or me signing it?
Both. You got assets you want to protect.
I'm not signing a prenup.
You not?
No. Now, will I have one drafted? Maybe. But I'm not signing one.
Why?
Well, why would I?
I mean, I just think, look, even before I used to tell my homeboys, I say, y'all got a prenup. They say, Sharp, we ain't got nothing. Mm-hmm. I say, so when you leave, you keep all your nothing. You don't want half of your nothing. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, look, I get it. If we get to a relationship, mm-hmm. okay, I got X. Mm-hmm. We get into this relationship and I get YZ. Mm-hmm. Okay, I'm cool with that. But you're not finna get X. I had X before I met you.
So, a prenup that would be appropriate for me would be a prenup that lines out. If I stepped out and performed infidelity, mm-hmm. this is the amount that will be paid out. Mm-hmm. And it's not going to be pennies.
Okay.
If we were to divorce amicably, mm-hmm. right, which I don't believe in that.
Right.
So I'm never leaving unless, like the Bible says, two things that are permissible to leave, which is infidelity and unfaithfulness. Mm-hmm. That's it, right? Otherwise, I'm not leaving. So we're going to work through everything else.
I thought death.
Well, death do your part, but you're still married in the covenant, you know?
Oh, okay.
But so if the prenup said if we were to divorce, then, like you said, right, there's X, Y, and Z. Mm-hmm. Okay, Doc, you get Y and Z. You know, and maybe not X, but Y and Z is something that
we could split.
No. We're not. What do you mean splitting? No. I'm not splitting.
Hello.
I'm talking about on the prenup. You're gonna be lining out what exactly goes to me being your wife.
Right.
For sticking by your ass, submitting, loving, making love, not denying, and pouring into you because I'm gonna give you everything I got. I'm gonna flip this whole table for you.
Everything?
Okay? Everything.
Okay.
And I'm not going to say no unless I don't have the bandwidth for it.
Okay.
Then it's just that I don't have the capacity.
Right.
So in that prenup, you're going to draw out, if I cheat,
right,
this is the amount that you get. And it's going to be a large ass amount so that my heartbreak don't also feel broken in my pockets. One. Number two,
okay,
if you got X, Y, and Z, it's going to be lined out that, let's just say X is $20 million
right.
of a property. I don't mind if you say, hey, then Doc gets 10 million of this one. And then of Z, Doc gonna get her 7 million, but it's gonna be lined out clear on what I'm agreeing to. There will be no prenup that says if we divorce, you get nothing. We don't marry. Okay. I'm not signing up for that. That is, to me, a woman who would sign up for that. I just feel like it's not that she's in it for love. I feel like she's been misguided.
Okay.
And again, I had a father, so my dad would turn in his grave if I signed up for that. And he would turn in his grave if I didn't get a prenup.
Right.
So I would have a prenup that said, hey, baby, you know, this is my stuff. And I couldn't see a man who is a man's man like you said you are, like my father was, who would have a problem with signing a prenup with me that said, I built all this. This is mine. I just don't see a man's man wanting that from me or from a woman, per se. I just don't see that. I see now a different kind of man.
Right.
You know, maybe saying I want, but no, I wouldn't even marry that type of guy.
What are her financial incentives behind turning therapy into content rather than providing genuine help? Like some of these guys actually need help. She talks about her client Ray J all the time, which I think is crazy because she actually admits that Ray J's her client. But somehow, because Ray J is Ray J and he's actually had a couple incidents recently, which that would make someone who is a life coach not want to use him as an example, you know, because as much as you've been helping Ray J, I haven't seen many results. And this is not a shot at Ray J because Ray J is going through what he's going through, right? He just got arrested live on stream last week. And you're out here saying that you're one of his therapists. What part of the game is that? You know? And so that's why I always view Dr. Cheyenne Bryant with a side eye. And of course, there are some other reasons that people like Corey Holcomb have brought up, people like Tasha K have brought up that have to do with her sexuality and, you know, why she is not bringing that part of her life into the forefront. But for the sake of argument, let's just say that Dr. Cheyenne Bryant is a woman of her word and that she's saying she's looking for a husband and children from that husband, which is another complicated issue that I think she can't necessarily grasp yet. And then I also think she finally mentioned she's attracted to and pretty much exclusively dates athletes.
Yeah.
Did she just tell me that? Thank you. Your friend and your sister told me that's what you just told me.
Yeah, no, he was in season.
Oh, you like athletes, huh? Still do, because you told me you like athletes when you were younger.
My ex-fiance is a retired basketball player.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So, but it's not just liking, it's I work out, I like men who work. So it's just more of an attraction.
You like what you like.
No, it's an attraction. I want to say this.
What?
I don't walk into a room and say, I want an athlete. Those are the only guys I want.
That's what you attract.
That's what I attract, but also that's what I'm attracted to.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because you think the moth want to fly into the flame? It can't help what it's attracted to.
There you go. So I am attracted to athletic men.
Yeah, they work out like,
However,
he probably could pick me up. And I can
he can pick me up. However, you know what I liked about my ex-fiance was that he was retired. Because I like time with my man.
Yeah.
And so there have been, men who have attempted to date me who are still in season.
Yeah.
And I could be supportive in that, but that's a lot of time.
Yeah.
That's taken away from us.
Yeah.
For a woman like me, and I'm also busy. So anyways, the young man was great. We still talk. We're still good friends. We're still good friends because it was something very short-lived and casual. But yes.
Shannon Sharp is looking there like, hey, yeah, I'm an athlete. There is a personal reason for her going on this podcast tour over the past few years. She's had this theory about these men creating broken homes, right? The criticism is there, right? That's obvious. But you've proven that point. So why is that still something that you feel like you should be able to bring up in these interviews, especially with someone like Shannon Sharp, who's in his 60s now? Crazy. You're talking about how he wasn't able to make a family as his final legacy. Well, might be too late at this point. You know what I'm saying? Like, he could get married, but what are we talking about here? The fact that he has grown children already, like whatever hypothetical damage that you're claiming, Cheyenne, is already done. So why are you even talking about it? But this is an ongoing thesis, and I think it comes from the fact that she wants to be in these relationships with these athletes or former athletes and have access to their wealth, not thinking about the example that it portrays to women out here that are like, yo, why don't you just get with somebody that you actually love instead of qualifying things? You want to be a cool chick and you want to be a chick that's not a gold digger while being a gold digger. You know what I'm saying? So we're not seeing a neutral clinical observation in any of these podcasts that she's on. We're seeing what appears to be emotionally charged commentary on these people's lives. But here's where it gets really interesting. And it happened so fast, most people missed it entirely. She's leveraging her relationship with 50 Cent to add a cosign, a celebrity validation to her book deal, right? It's a 2-book deal, I think. She's got one coming out in 2026, and then she's already reissuing a copy of a book that she already said is sold all over the place. So why are you re-releasing this book is the question. Is this a work avoidance thing, or is this just like, is this really about the merit of her scholarship? Or is it about using star power to get yourself a book deal so that you can cause more damage? When you need celebrity endorsements to validate your credentials, it suggests the credentials themselves might not be doing the heavy lifting. It suggests that the book company wouldn't have taken you if you didn't have 50 Cent or Lala co-signing you. That really seems very unorganic, how this thing came about. And so once again, I question her motives. Is she really in this to help men? Like specifically men, because that seems to be the only people she's interested in helping. I don't know of her having any famous female clients. That is strange. That's very strange. Especially since she doesn't specialize specifically in men's issues. You know what I'm saying? So, but after multiple controversial podcast appearances where she went viral, you know, suddenly she's got this book that's trying to position her as a legitimate authority. It seems like somebody's hands in play right now to put Cheyenne in every one of our households, which I think I'm good on. She's still trying to rehabilitate her image from that Paul Pierce interview when Paul Pierce just opened up the can. She also gets caught in a contradiction. She has said in that interview that she was spinning the block, literally. And I'll give Shannon Sharp credit for this. He actually caught her dead in a lie about spinning the block.
When I've gone on, I've gone on. It's nothing to do with...
Oh, you've never spun the block?
No, I don't spin the block. No, what happens is I can have long-term relationships, and if we happen to, you know, have a break of something, like we're just no longer in a relationship, and then we happen to maybe get back into a relationship, yes, but spinning the block, meaning like we're just gonna go back and sleep together and do this thing, no, that's not how I show up. No.
Got her.
We dated for 5 years off and on.
So you was his work for 5 years? You been his work? You still his work?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. I know what's going on.
You got nothing to say.
We're gonna take this sheep clothing off.
The wolf teeth going out. No, we
he
have
was somebody's work for 5 years.
We have.
She was a side piece, get it right. Because he didn't want to commit to her, of course. After 5 years, he doesn't want a relationship of any kind with Dr. Cheyenne Bryant. Dr. Cheyenne Bryant.
Been each other's companion for 5 years. And yeah, I have spun the block for 5 years. And it's the truth. And he doesn't like it. He's absolutely correct. He feels like I haven't provided.
Oh, your work.
We working together. Okay. We working together.
See what we're seeing here? We're seeing somebody that may be using therapy language and credentials to mask their true intentions. You know, the personal grievances she has against successful black men. You know, the entertainment industry has always had people who leverage minimal credentials for maximum exposure. But when those credentials involve mental health, all bets are off. People trust therapists and life coaches with vulnerable information and emotional guidance, using that trust to create content that serves personal vendettas and personal enrichment rather than genuinely helping somebody, I think crosses ethical lines. And if you understand what's really happening here, you'll never look at her coming on these podcasts the same. Like all these people that are willfully ignorant and think that people are just hating on her because she's pretty and she looks a certain way. And, you know, like, snap out of it. It's more than that. It's obviously more than that. But I can't say everybody is street smart. A lot of people are willfully blind and they're just going to have to be left behind and, you know, lost, you know, because there's no telling some people, pushing them off of the Cheyenne train. And this is the thing that always bothered me about her. It just seems like her take on things is meant to diminish people rather than to lift them up, rather to put them in their place rather than to heal them, you know? And that's what I see with Ray J. Like Ray J is a raw nerve. He's out here just kind of floating in the wind, and she's supposedly his life coach, but I'm not seeing a lot of results. That's embarrassing is what it should be. But instead, she's out here promoting books. She's on everybody's podcast. She's in everybody's face all the time. But let me know what you think about it. Am I off? Is Dr. Cheyenne the genius personality that we all need now in our faces every week with some new advice? Is she really fighting hard for black men to ascend to a level and to really handle their mental health issues? Or is she out here just trying to make a quick buck? I think I know the answer to that. But anyway, let me know what you think about it in the comments. If you like this video, like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell notification for all uploads. Make sure you sign up for the Patreon. The link is in the description. In 2026, it's going to be lit. So make sure you sign up. This is Faucette Media.